Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the Soul of Excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
Thanks, Caroline. Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
Amen to that. Welcome, my friends, to the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. That was White House. That was a White House briefing earlier today. Caroline Levitt took apart this reporter who works for The Hill. And I got to say, I read The Hill. The Hill isn't all left-wing tripe. There's a lot of it in there, but not all of it. It's not, but this guy, I mean, his question was just intolerable, and she answered. All of this comes, of course, after another shooting last night in Minneapolis where three, what do you call these people now? Insurrectionists tried to ambush an ICE agent. One of them was shot in the leg. He's now in custody. And, of course, today there was tear gas deployed at one of these other quote-unquote demonstrations. Tim Walz, Jacob Frey. Jacob Frey is a disgrace, in my opinion, as a mayor. Just disgrace. Tim Walz is a disgrace as a governor. They are now trying to say that they want everything to calm down, but they have been inciting. Look, it's not just them. We could do a long list and we'd leave people out of it because there are so many on the Democrat side. One of the earliest was the California insurrection, Karen Bass accusing ICE agents of being terrorists, Gavin Newsom. Actually, the insurrection started a lot longer than that, but timid Republicans refused to combat it. The insurrection started the day that Democrats declared themselves sanctuary, that they were above federal law, that they didn't have to pay attention to federal law, and they would keep illegal immigrants in there safe, and not only that, spend American taxpayer dollars to support illegal immigration. That is when this insurrection began. As long as timid Republicans kept their tail between their legs and kept their mouths shut for fear that they would be called some horrible names if they objected, everything was cruel. I mean, American citizens didn't like it. Those people who understood what was happening didn't like it. Democrats paraded and made this clear what their objective was. They, at that time, called it the Browning of America. That's what they called it, the Browning of America. What they wanted to do was make sure that the population demographics in the United States changed. So this nation allowed at the time we were told 20 million illegal immigrants to stay here pretty much unchecked. Most of them from Central America and South America. Then along came Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And what did they do? Well, that's not good enough. Let's bring in another 11 million. Now, if you look at the high figures that many of us have been told, it's up to 30 million that were here already, not 20. But I don't know whether there's a way to actually count it. So we could be looking at a high number of over 41 million illegal immigrants in this country. What happens every 10 years when the United States does a census? Those people are counted as being population of a state. As a result of the census, which, by the way, under Democrat president was rigged so that red states were not counted as high and blue states were counted higher, what happens? House seats are apportioned. So Democrats owe whatever majorities they can claim to have in the House when they win elections due to the presence, not voting presence, but still it does count with votes, due to the presence of illegal immigrants. That is what keeps them competitive as a party in the House. Because and only because of illegal immigration. If the 30 to 41 million illegal immigrants suddenly left this country, would there be an economic impact? Yes, there definitely would. And it would be mixed, in my view. Some of it would be dramatically, overwhelmingly positive. Some of it would not be. One thing for sure, the massive welfare rolls, even before fraud, and you take account of the fraud that's being committed on a mass scale, the welfare rolls would shrink. The education rolls would shrink. The number of dollars that we have to spend on all sorts of education programs, from bilingual education to would shrink dramatically. What also would shrink would be the number of House seats that Democrats have, to the point that they would fear not ever being elected in a majority again, perhaps for generations. And what has never been argued before the courts, and I don't understand why not, is the role that this has this illegal immigration in diluting the votes of Americans who don't live in blue cities and blue states. Because what they are doing is diluting the voting power that American citizens have in favor of the power that is granted by way of the census to Democrats. You ask yourself, why are we seeing Democrats right now in a state of active and open rebellion against the federal government? They are Confederates. They are rebel Confederates, just like their ancestors who tried to protect their peculiar institution of human bondage, slavery. These are the political ancestors of those Democrats, and they are pretty much fighting for the same things. They want a cheap labor force. They want political power based on the population of that cheap labor force. They are the direct descendants from the same Democrats that tried to protect the institution of slavery, only now they are more like indentured servants that they're fighting for. They get paid something, but they're indentured. They're here in a class where they really can't complain too much because they're here illegally. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, every single time there has been a move, despite what they say, every time Democrats have held power where they could enact something, the thing that they have never and will never enact is a true immigration reform that demands that illegal immigrants either return to their country first and apply for citizenship, then from their native countries, or that takes them, the Democrat power, out of the loop by actively, and this is why they were so mad with Obama. It's like they were mad with Obama. He deported over 5 million people in his term. They were ticked off. They called him the deporter-in-chief. They were angry because they understood the threat to their own power, and they were looking like at Obama like, what, idiot, don't you understand what you're doing if you deport people out of here? We have other news today. President Trump has announced a health care plan. I want to play part of his remarks for you. We have more battles over this immigration, and you will hear it. We have the Black Panther Party reemerging. I don't know where the location of where this came from. Carlos, let's quickly play this before we get to a break and then go to the break. The Black Panther Party last emerged, I saw, in Philadelphia when Obama was elected, threatening voters and never held account, threatening Republicans in Philadelphia, and it was just disregarded, no problem. They're allowed to show up at polling places and threaten and intimidate people, and never action taken against them. The new Black Panther Party, and these people are just such a disgrace to the legacy of the original Black Panther Party. It's ridiculous. But here is a member of the new Black Panther Party speaking his mind on ICE and immigration.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's going to happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable. We hold them accountable. We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for self-defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't going to act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means them shotgun shells that shoot out of a pump, this shoots them rapidly. If you are going to legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public's going to be dissatisfied with their job that they're doing, not feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies. That makes them immune to whatever the people would do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal force. All power to the mother people. No power to the pig.
James Golden, Snerdley, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Rush. This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
Ladies and gentlemen, get used to this, please, and I say that lovingly. Every day at this time, we are going to, or most days, I don't know whether yet it'll be 3 or 4 days a week, maybe 2, 3 or 4, we're going to do a segment called LWW. LWW. Liberal White Women. So today, in our LWW segment, we present a liberal white woman.
I actually don't have a single friend who is thrilled with how their husband is reacting to all this. Most of them are describing their husbands as ostriching, sticking their heads in the sand and pretending like nothing is happening. Meanwhile, my friends, their wives, are trying to figure out, how are we going to continue normal life for our children through this? How are we going to prepare and protect ourselves? And their husbands are like, stop being so emotional. You're overreacting. I mean, do we see what's happening?
Yes.
Hello. It's time to wake up. Protect your family. My friends are losing complete faith in their partners at this point. The divorces that are going to happen after all this, it's going to be an unprecedented number because you all are failing your families.
If you don't think that this is real, she's not the only one. I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you when we get back from the break. Now, these are the women who must be showing up at these protests. You keep wondering, who are these women and why are they coming out here? And why are there so many of them? They're coming out protesting, and now they're, in some cases, very angry at their husbands who don't share the TDS outrage that they have over Minnesota and some of these other. They go, can you hear these women just wah, 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 and would you please calm down? No, sweetheart, it's not that. No, we don't have to get involved in this. Let's just go to work. Where's my breakfast? You didn't make breakfast, but you're sitting here whining. The divorce rate, it's going to be a lot of divorces over this. Husbands are not protecting their wives from Donald Trump, from the ICE people. James Golden. Snerdley. Don't go away. We'll come right back.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
Dana, good morning. And emotions are high here in New Jersey after an ICE raid here at this laundromat and surrounding businesses in Morristown on Sunday led to anti-ICE protests and really controversy here locally. New Jersey Democrat Governor Phil Murphy is now weighing whether or not he's going to sign 3 anti-ICE bills that were passed by the Democrat-controlled state legislature. Now, the bills legally prohibit police from stopping anyone based solely on immigration status, prohibits ICE from operating in New Jersey's jails to deport criminals, and prevents New Jersey from sharing personal data with ICE without a warrant. Now, Governor Murphy has until noon Tuesday when his term ends to sign these bills, and he's
Democrats in New Jersey joining the other Democrat rebels. I told you I have proof that one woman that you heard complaining that her husband and liberal women, are unhappy with their husbands for not taking this whole ICE thing as seriously as they are. I'd say it's not just one little lunatic, folks. Proof. Here's another one. Cut 15, Carlos. And this, check out this woman.
For all the men out there whose wives are very concerned about everything happening in Minneapolis and very concerned about when it will come to your front doorstep in your community, because it will, I want you to know that your partner is looking to you to be the protector, provider, and leader of your family that you all claim to be. We've been told our entire lives, men are natural leaders. Now I'm hearing from all my friends when they go to their husbands saying they're worried, that they want your support, that they want to talk to you and plan for what's happening to keep your children safe or to make sure that your family is okay. And you tell them that they're overreacting, it's not going to happen, not to worry about it, to protect your peace. They're looking at you to be the protector. You are failing to protect them. Because even if it doesn't get worse, let's play that out. Your partner, your wife, your girlfriend is now always going to remember that when she was scared and she looked to you for leadership and support, you brushed her off. Why doesn't really even matter. So what if it never happens? So what if it never comes to your doorstep? It will. But what's the worst that could happen by actually engaging with her and strategizing with her and, I don't know, showing up as an actual partner to her? Because she will remember that. She will also remember what you're saying now. And if you want to be looked at as the leader of your family, as the protector of your family, as a provider of your family, you have to actually lead, provide, and protect. It's not just one. It's not just you have a job and you get paid. Most of us have jobs and get paid too. You have to actually be involved.
Be involved? So let me see. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing at. Yes, I should. So let me see if I got this right. For years, now decades, we've been hearing about how awful the male patriarchy is. We've been hearing this stuff. Males have, there's toxic masculinity. And the best course, and by the way, you teach your little boys that they don't have to be boys, they can be girls. Just be whatever you want to be. There's really no difference. You want to be a girl? Be a girl. You want to be a boy? It's okay. You want to play with dolls? You want to do all that stuff that girls do? It's okay. Don't chastise them. Be sensitive. So we have now 3 or 4 liberal generations of pajama boys. We have the pajama boys, the metrosexual boys, the caring, sensitive boys that have now grown up, got married to these liberal women, and then the liberal women get scared because they watch The View, they watch PMS Now, PMS NBC, and they get upset. Oh my gosh! And they believe it. Look at what ICE is doing. ICE, they're going to come to our doorsteps, honey. We're not illegal. We're citizens. We're not illegal citizens. ICE isn't coming here. You're not protecting us. You be a leader. You're. And they're going to remember what you said, that you said to calm down. I'm just being ridiculous. The ICE is on the way here. Didn't you see? Honey, ICE is not coming here. I got to go to work. Just, go to Whole Foods, go to the store. If you don't want to go to the store, have it delivered. Just calm down, honey. It's okay. Stop watching TV so much. But look, we have to strategize. ICE is coming. ICE is coming. Trump is coming. Didn't you hear Rosie? He's going to take over everything. Didn't you listen to Joy Behar? He's coming to take over everything. He's a dictator. He's a king. Everybody. He's coming here tomorrow. Which way, ladies? Do you want him to have some testes or do you not? And he's telling you, don't worry for a reason. There's nothing to worry about. Unless you happen to be one of these left-wing kook agitators out here. By the way, the difference between these women and other women, let's go to a small town in Minnesota. Cut 13. This woman's not one of the LWWs. You can tell by her attitude. This is what she says.
I love the suburb I'm in. So ICE was just in my suburb at our local grocery store while I was there, and they were grabbing somebody. Nobody in the grocery store stopped them from doing their job. Everybody was clapping and excited about ICE being there. People were hooting and hollering, chanting for ICE. You gotta love small towns in Minnesota, honestly. We are so stoked. And honestly, you know what I did after the ICE agents got done with their job and what they were doing? I said, can I buy you all, like something to drink, something to eat? And I did. And I sure did, because you know what? I'm excited that ICE is in Minnesota. Really excited. I'm not going to tell you the suburb I'm in, but it's close to Stillwater. We'll just leave it at that. Best thing I've seen today is watching an ICE agent arrest somebody and send them back to where they came from. Love it. Super happy about it. Love the suburb I live in, because there was no protesting. Nobody stopped them. Nobody did. Because no one gives a. We want them gone.
She's not scared. And she went out by herself. And she even approached these men and bought them something to drink, something to eat, because she appreciated the job they're doing. Meanwhile, Minnesota State Senator Bobby Champion. These attacks that are going on. Cut 6. Carlos, let's listen in to what some of the locals are saying out there in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. As the guy said, Minneapolis. Anyway, here is Minnesota State Senator Bobby Champion.
If there were neighbors and others who came out to help this person, that is just an example of Minnesota being a place where we help our neighbors. And we are clear that the ICE agents have been coming here, and there's over 2,000 of them. And they've been attacking and terrorizing our state. So, yes, neighbors will come out and be helpful. I'm not certain if they had brooms or a shovel. That is to be further investigated.
If they did, in fact, have some sort of weapons to use to attack the ICE officer, would that change your opinion of whatever unfolded next?
Actually, no, right? Because from our vantage point, we wanted to make sure, and always wanted to make sure, that Minnesotans are being dealt with properly. And when we think in terms of any pursuit or any apprehension of anyone, there's a way for you to do your work where it's respectful and it's fair. We unfortunately have seen ICE not be respectful, not be fair, but to be illegal and to attack and to be very aggressive with Minnesotans. And to see that the federal government has made a decision to attack and send more and more agents here and allow them to be, allow them to misbehave, we think that's a tragedy and a travesty.
So ICE is misbehaving. If people take up shovels and whatever else they can, vandalize, it's okay. That's the state senator. And you wonder why what is happening in this city is happening. These are the people who are in the Democrat Party, active rebellion against the federal government. Now, I could spend a lot more. We have a lot more on that, but I want to move along. Donald Trump, cut 1. Announcement today, and this is what the president had to say.
Today, I'm thrilled to announce my plan to lower health care prices for all Americans and truly make health care affordable again. We're doing things that nobody's ever been able to do. We're calling it the Great Health Care Plan. Instead of putting the needs of big corporations and special interests first, our plan finally puts you first and puts more money in your pocket. The government is going to pay the money directly to you. It goes to you, and then you take the money and buy your own health care. Nobody's ever heard of that before, and that's the way it is. The big insurance companies lose and the people of our country win. This proposal locks in the massive discounts on prescription drugs that my administration is achieving through our most favored nation drug pricing agreement. Now, when you hear about that, for 40 years they've been trying to do it, but they never were able to do it. No other president was able to do it. I got every other country to approve it by the use of tariffs and other things. They all approved it. Nobody else got it. No other president got it. And for the most part, they didn't even try because they felt it was impossible. It'll bring down drug prices 80, 90%, in some cases, just numbers that nobody's ever heard of before. Your prescription drugs will come way, way down. And under this policy, the prices of many drugs will be slashed by 300, 400, and even 500% starting this month at the TrumpRx.gov. So instead of Americans paying the highest drug prices in the world, which we have for decades, we will now be paying the lowest cost paid by any other nation. So any other nation that's paying the lowest cost, that's what we're going to pay. And the American people will get the savings. So I have to reiterate, the lowest price in the world is what you're going to pay. Before, you were paying the highest price in the world by far, and the politicians did nothing about it. So I'm asking Congress to complete the work that we've started. Next, my plan would reduce your insurance premiums by stopping government payoffs to big insurance companies and sending that money directly to the people. Obamacare was designed to make insurance companies rich. I call it the Unaffordable Care Act, with billions of dollars in taxpayer subsidies that help their stock prices skyrocket
Amen.
over 1,700%, as you paid more money for health care every single year, more and more. The premiums went higher and higher. I want to end this flagrant scam and put extra money straight into the health care savings account in your name, and you go out and buy your own health care, and you'll make a great deal. You get better health care for less money. That way you can choose the care that is right for your family. To further reduce insurance premiums, my plan ends the giant kickbacks to insurance brokers and corporate middlemen that only drive up the costs, and that's what they're intended to do, drive up the cost. But we're driving down the costs. And it fully funds a long neglected part of the law known as the Cost Sharing Reduction Program. This measure alone should cut premiums on the most popular Obamacare plans. It's hard to believe there are any because it's a hated program. It's unaffordable, but it's going to cut them by an average of 10 to 15%. Next, the Great Healthcare Plan. That's the name. It's called the Great Healthcare because it's great healthcare at a lower price. Mandates unprecedented accountability and transparency from insurance companies and all healthcare providers, so that special interests can no longer profiteer at your expense. As the saying goes, sunlight is the best disinfectant. That is why my plan orders all insurance companies to publish rate and coverage comparisons in very plain English. It requires insurers to publish detailed information about how much of your money they're going to be paying out in claims versus how much they're taking in profits. In other words, you will be able to watch the scam. It forces them to release detailed data on how many claims are being denied and whether those denials are eventually overturned on appeal. And most importantly, it will require any hospital or insurer who accepts Medicare or Medicaid to prominently post all prices at their place of business so that you are never surprised and you can easily shop for a better deal or better care. And you're going to end up doing both. You're going to get a better deal and better care. We will have maximum price transparency and costs will come down incredibly. I'm calling on Congress to pass this framework into law without delay. Have to do it right now so that we can get immediate relief to the American people, the people I love. Thank you very much.
My friends, now you can argue, disagree with parts of this. For almost 30 years, the American press corps, mainstream media, is saying Republicans have no plan for your health care. You would think that today, with a Republican president saying Here's the plan. It would be front page news, big headlines everywhere, detailed explanation, analysis of what it would do. It's being treated like he never made the announcement. This is huge. And the Republicans preparing their insurance company knives to try to thrust into their own president's political back had better watch out, because people are not going to stand for that this time around. If you want to argue the specifics of the proposals, fine. Do not try to sabotage this, because you're in bed with big insurance. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Rush. This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush.
Now, here's James Golden.
Here's a test. If you have liberal friends, ask them, hey, what's this new health care from Donald Trump I've heard about? The new Republican health care plan. Ask them and see what they say. 1952, Melvin Gale was born. He was the cellist with ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. What a group. What a sound. So we leave you today with ELO. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, and your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow for the Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.